In 2018, I was in Ukraine when one of my elderly family members fell over in the street, and in moments a huge crowd had gathered and they were almost fighting to help us. And within about 2 or 3 minutes, blankets had appeared, there was antiseptic, bandages, water, and even an espresso. They obviously knew us well. I remember one of the babushkas really taking charge and organising these 20 people who'd all come to help. And roll forward to March 2022, I was in Prague main station waiting to catch a train and just surrounded by Ukrainian refugees. They all had a look I remember seeing in the Syrian crisis, which is the sort of just completely washed out look. And by accident, I photographed a little girl with a yellow hat on, and she was clinging to her doll like it was the only thing of worth in the entire world. And I knew at that precise moment, now's the time to repay the kindness that the Ukrainian people showed to my family.
Welcome to BBC London. I'm Victoria Hollins. A privately chartered flight has left Stansted Airport to deliver aid to refugees fleeing the war in Ukraine.
Welcome to a part of Stansted Airport with no signposts. This area is for billionaires and heads of state. There's no duty-free shop. However, perhaps you'd care for this 15th century original sketch by Leonardo da Vinci? It's March 2022, and humanitarian officials on the ground have an urgent need for non-perishable and baby foods, sleeping bags, and other essentials. So a team of London volunteers have spent days collecting and packing this precious cargo of mundane daily items. Charities and individuals have brought tons of supplies to here at Stansted Airport, where they've had to be stored alongside aircraft spare parts.
Yeah, so these, in the village where I live, the youth group meets on a Friday evening. So I went and spoke to them yesterday and asked them really just a little bit about what they understood of what was going on and how they can talk children to children and try and understand what they must feel if they were going through that. So what they did was they made these messages of hope, really, and they converted their messages of English through Google Translate and into Ukrainian. And these children are from age 6, 7, 8 and up to 15. So we had a very broad range of messages and understandings, but I think it was a very important thing to do. So that's what these are.
Yeah. That's fantastic. It's a really nice touch. Thank you.
We are flying to Suceava in Romania. The reason we are flying there is that it is further east and it's also as near to the border as we could possibly get, because a lot of the aid on here is actually going straight into Ukraine. It's an area that is remote and hasn't had a lot of donations, and so we're really down to the core. So it's food aid, it's baby food, it's adult food, it's long life, things that don't require any prep.
This is what $53 million can buy you. It's an AIM Breyer Lineage 1000. At around $10,000 per hour, normally only billionaires get to use a plane like this. Later today it needs to be in Paris, but AirX have kindly agreed to fly it via Romania. All planes have something called a maximum payload. Put simply, that is how much the plane can carry. AirX have agreed to fill it with humanitarian supplies until we've reached the maximum payload. So, fill it we will.
Well, it doesn't matter where anyone's from, who they are. I'll join. Everybody's a person. If we can do a little bit to help, then we'll go a long way.
I feel privileged. I'm very lucky to be here. I do not need this stuff. We don't need them at the moment, so we can just give it to them.
This is huge because we've got to fit it in between high net worth and celebrity charters and somehow make use of the cabin as a relief aid in between, whilst also getting all the charity work to be done, collecting, dropping off, volunteers airside. Remarkable. I mean, I thought the number of people involved would be maybe 10 or 20. I was perhaps 3 or 4-fold wrong on that, yeah.
Unlike a passenger jet, the Lineage has a cargo room at the very back. We didn't stop there. We filled the huge lavatories and every part of the cabin we could. We don't know who the girl in a yellow hat is. You might have noticed that she was clinging to her doll like it was all that mattered in her life. So we made sure that a few furry friends like this guy made it aboard. Let's hope they'll love someone as much as that doll loves the girl in a yellow hat. This film is dedicated to the amazing people who made this possible. There are so many planes sat idle doing nothing, yet it was AirX who chose to make a difference. Thank you to the English, Romanian and Ukrainian volunteers who quite literally made this possible. They are people with everyday jobs who have done something of note to make a difference. Can you say the same?